Hey, what's up YouTube? So I'm building a counter for a yoga studio. I didn't build this. It was a project that was started. So basically I'm gonna sheath it. I'm using 1/2 inch MDO, and right now on Pinterest, there's a popular design going around, like an accent wall geometric design. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do. This is just a quick sketch up. The countertops are already poured. They're concrete countertops, so it's like gonna be all white. Kind of get this geometric design. But first things first, I'm gonna add some screws, make sure this thing is square, get it structurally sound, and then I will start sheathing it. So yeah, this project is gonna be building a yoga counter for a yoga studio. So I hope you find this interesting. Please go to Meyer Construction, hit like, hit subscribe, and keep hammering. Okay, so I had to fix a few things on this. Like I said, I didn't build this. This was already done by another contractor. So what I'm gonna do is take a chalk line, chalk the back side, because this is both gonna be 2 slabs of concrete. One here, one up top that's gonna cantilever out towards the customer. So to support that slab, what we came up with is essentially, I'm gonna take a 2x4 to the vertical studs right here, plane out. So it's gonna effectively be a ledger board on the back. Up front, we're gonna take some 2x3 angle, and then we're just gonna cut it to match. And that's gonna span on the face. So that's gonna span on the face. What I'm gonna have to do is take my router and remove the thickness to get it to kind of sit in a pocket. But essentially that's what's gonna support this. We're doing that 2x3 angle because we wanted to clear span that. We didn't want to have to build brackets, which you could, but in case whoever was working here, wanted the leg room. So I'm gonna snap a line and set my ledger. But that's kind of the game plan of what we're doing. So I'm setting the screw just down a ways so I can run my chalk line. And what I want it to do is plane out directly at the top. Just like so, and then that way it gives me a mark if that 2x4 is bowed to make sure I'm hitting exactly at that same spot. So you can see I cut off a little chunk for a test piece, kind of so as I went along. What I did is I just set the depth of my router. It's like 3/16. It's not pretty, but you're not going to see this. So now this will allow this piece, my 2x3 angle, to sit in there flush, span across. Probably have to paint the face white, but that's going to be behind the counter, so that really won't matter. So I just used my router, and then I took my little plane and planed off that edge to get it to sit nice and flush. But now I'm gonna get that up. What I think I'm gonna do is drill countersink in here and drill a screw to keep this affixed to run all the way to the stud right here. So what I did is I just scribed the line at 1 5/8. That gives me an 1/8 of wiggle room for my countertop to slide under there any deviation. So what I'm doing is I'm hanging this side first, just the way my butt joints are gonna work. And I just rough cut it, and then I'll take my trim bit with my router. I'm shooting on with 1.5 inch narrow crown staples and PL premium adhesive. I'm just putting a little bit on this front. So here's the design we came up with. Like I said, this is for a yoga studio. The sign is getting incorporated in the face. My brother came up with the design for the diamond, and then everything's running off in parallel on 9-inch centers. Just got it all laid out. So now we're gonna start slapping it together. Hey, what's up YouTube? We got this built yesterday. I kind of took a time lapse of what was going on. This is for a yoga studio. This design was kind of based off the geometric design off Pinterest. My brother's a tattoo artist, real good with design, so he kind of laid this out, came up with this. All this made out of MDO. We incorporated the logo of the yoga studio and then kind of kept that same with the proportional diamond around the square sign. Basically today, I'm gonna picture frame the side and then fill all my nail holes with Crawford spackle. I'm probably gonna lay a bead of caulk in all the seams and then prime it with Kills, and then we're spraying it with Sherwin-Williams Pro Classic all white. We still need to get our brackets on for our concrete countertop here, but yeah, I think it turned out really nice. It's gonna look good. It's gonna be very heavy, but when you have concrete countertops, you can't really do anything about that. And you can see, I kind of showed this earlier, but we just used a piece of 2x3 angle iron to support that weight, to clear span it, and then just a 2x4 on the back side acting essentially as a ledger. I didn't want to buy another sheet of MDO because they're 80 bucks right now. So what I'm going to do is fill that seam also, so you won't see that. So I got the desk all tacked off, all filled with Crawfords, sanded. Everything's ready to go. We set it up on stringers to get it elevated for painting it. I'm just spraying it with Kills. The primer, just because it's fast drying and we're on a tight schedule. It's Sunday right now. This has to be delivered tomorrow for an opening, 5 o'clock. So one thing with spraying Kills, it's a little thicker. I might add some water depending on how it's spraying. I'll kind of mess around, get my pattern set, and I'll start off with tackling probably the side to set my pattern, which is not as visible. And then I'm gonna come in here and spray every angle. And that way, and put my volume way down and just make sure I hit all the corners, which will be tedious, but that's the best way to approach something. You want to hit all the angles first. Okay, you can see that's kind of one heavy coat. Not quite two coats on the slats, I guess. But you can see the finish has turned out really nice. I ended up brushing on the corner of the MDO because I just thought it'd be easier to kind of work in those crevices. In hindsight, if I was building this, I would paint all my slats before install and make it easier. That way you could get right down to it. It's kind of difficult to spray, but you can see the finish is turning out really nice, and that's just with Kills. And I'm using my HomeRite sprayer. It's kind of hard, there's not good lighting in here, but I mean, a real nice finish. MDO finish is very nice. So yeah, I'll probably do one more coat of primer and then hit it with our Sherwin-Williams Pro Classic. Spray that. And right now I'm running to Menards to go get some leg screws for our brackets so I can get those mounted up. Hey, what's up YouTube? So this is the first coat, sprayed Pro Classic. It sprayed pretty decent. I could have thinned it out maybe a little bit, but it kind of levels out nice. I sprayed it pretty light, and it's going to be hard to tell probably with the camera from the glare, but a pretty awesome finish. It says 4 hours to recoat, so I'm going to wait 4 hours. Probably just spray it tomorrow night after tearing apart a deck. Come by and spray it. But yeah, and then I'll get some footage of the install. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.